Gorgeous human, I'm Jyoti, your spiritual bestie, your spiritual guide, and I make daily YouTube videos that supports you, that helps you in moving out of dysfunction into alignment, into joy, from low self-esteem to higher amounts of golden self-esteem. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that I didn't want it to talk about because I felt like I'm not ready, I'm not there yet, and I also felt like that someone that I know who is really good at it, maybe that mentor can guide other people better. And I was just telling God that I really only want to be focused on my lane, which I'm still like, you know, discovering slowly. So, but God is like, you gotta talk about it. There are people who hear you and they need to learn from you, and what you have to say is very important to them. So, you know, talk about it. So, we are going to be talking about sex and pleasure. Now, pleasure, sex can give us pleasure, but pleasure is not just limited to sex. Pleasure, you can feel very pleasurable when you eat a fruit, really ripe sweet papaya, ripe bananas, and if someone is cooking a meal and they're putting so much love in it, you will feel that, and that meal will hit you very differently. Okay, it will give orgasm to your heart. And pleasure, like sitting in the sunshine, pleasure can be like watching a child's innocence, child playing and innocently playing with animals, and that's very pleasurable. Different people discover and have very different kind of pleasure. Like, I know somebody who is an autistic child. That child feels very pleasurable and finds joy into like just playing with objects just like this and watching them for like hours and hours. She can just do that, and to her that's very joyful. When I make art like this one and many others, you can check out in my website, or if you follow on my Instagram, my dog. When I am like in a creative flow, that's very pleasurable for me. Dressing up, self-care is very pleasurable. Like, oh my god, I think there is nothing more pleasurable than self-care. Connecting to God, oh my god, when you have that connection and you feel it, wow, magic. It's like multiple orgasms inside our bodies. Rani, stop it. Now coming to sex. I have a lot to learn, but in the past few years, what I have learned has just blown my mind. So, when I was growing up, and the lineage, my ancestral line, the family line that I'm born into, sex is very shamed. Forget about sex being shamed. Even like a boy and a girl, a child, a child boy and a child girl playing together is also shamed so much. Like, my father would be scared to like even pick up a girl, a baby girl, because that's how shame it is. And physical touch is also very shamed. So there are people are just walking without hugs, without loving touch, and so just like how a rose needs water to blossom, our bodies needs loving touch to feel good, to be in its healthy and optimal health state. Okay, so and by the way, healthy touch and sex are two different things. So yeah, now since I am born into that kind of sexually shamed lineage, wherein like sex is so shamed, when we are all sexual, that's why we as children naturally discovered orgasms, self pleasure, and because a part of our consciousness knows how powerful this energy is, and we all have it. Like that sexual energy, we all have it. So that makes us sexual creatures. We can't deny that, something that we already have. Just like rose cannot deny its essence. It cannot say like, okay, this fragrance, I don't have it. It has certain fragrance that it has. Okay. So just like that, we cannot deny our own essence. And when we accept it, when we fully come in alignment with it, that's when we start to come in alignment with our healthy sexuality. Otherwise, when we grow up in like families where sex is so shamed and looked down upon and always hidden, nobody wants to talk about it, and there is like, oh my god, how did you talk about it and all of that. In those families, you will see people becoming obsessed with naked bodies. In those families, you will see people becoming like, real, nobody will talk about it, but behind the back they're watching porn, excessive porn, and really violent kind of porns. So the way that I learned about sex is watching porn, and it's very misguided information about sex, and then we get influenced. And in our mind, there are neural pathways. So it's like when you do something for a long period of time, there's a neural pathway that forms in our mind, and then we naturally start to do it without even realizing it. Just like how a swimmer, when they practices so much, they can, while swimming, after some time while swimming, they can even think of a meal that they have to prepare, or like because I write a lot, so I can write, and while chanting Hanuman Chalisa, it has become natural for me to write. I'm so good at it. And while even painting, I can think certain things and sort certain things out and all of that. So that neural pathways, the pleasurable neural pathways, they are very easy to form. So once you see something with your eyes, and especially as child, the neural pathway of that pleasure is very strongly built and very easily built and very hard to break out of. So now there are like very misguided information in porn, so we never go beyond that. We never learn the true essence of sex. With this video, I want to convey you to question everything that you feel pleasurable, not hide about it, not criticize yourself for it, like why do I find certain thing pleasurable. I was reading about other day, like how certain people will get turned on by the dead bodies, and they will have sex with dead bodies. Why do they do that? When we go much deeper, we figure out their self-esteem is so low, like they feel like that nobody will accept them and they will be rejected by everything and everybody. So the only option that they have sex with is dead body, you know, because then their pain of not like they can avoid that pain that they feel, you know, when someone is rejecting them. So now when if we will criticize those people so much, we will never learn the root cause of why they are doing that. The root cause is low self esteem, fear of rejection. So when we start to heal those root causes, they will stop get to turn on by the dead bodies. There are other kind of sex that I was like, you know, people who like being dominated a lot, like they want the other person to take charge a lot, and like other person to be in charge and dominate the hell out of them. Like they want to be that level of submissive, because in their actual life they are feeling lot of pressure. Like in their actual life they are doing everything, you know, they are taking care of everything, everybody, and they are feeling so much pressure. So when the act of sex is going on, they want to release that pressure completely, you know. So they are getting that emotional satisfaction of, you know, like they're releasing the stress of that pressure by submitting to the other person. And the people who like to take charge also, like, you know, they want to be in charge in the bed and want to dominate, and especially physical, like they want to hurt the other person physically, you know. It's because in their personal life they are being bullied a lot, or they have been as child. So that anger, that suppression of anger comes out in the sex. So when you heal these root causes, no, like in the prior example wherein someone is feeling lot of pressure of life, if they were to start in a healthy way, release some stress, meaning like, okay, they find people that they can that, you know, take the work pressure, or they get some house help because they are doing everything by themselves, they will come in alignment with healthy sexuality. They will not want to be that level of submissive, you know, or the person who is dominating and like physically also hurting other person, because they get pleasure by that, seeing other person get physically hurt. If they were to try to heal their traumas around being bullied and anger, resentment, so they would stop getting turned on by those kind of things. Our turn ons hold this special truth, personal truth about us, okay. And this is something really dark. There are people who want to have sex with innocent child. It's because they want to connect with their innocence, you know. Their innocence have been taken advantage of so brutally, and now through engaging with the sex with a child, they want to come in alignment with their innocence. Like meaning in their childhood someone took the advantage of their innocence, and that really damaged their brain, and they start to think like that, that subconsciously what they're subconsciously wanting is true alignment with their innocence, not actually having sex with the, like, you know, child. So for example, if you feel extremely attracted towards somebody, does not mean that that's a romantic connection. That could mean that that person may reflect your traumas. That could mean that that person may reflect something that you are not seeing within you. Like a person can go like, why is everybody angry? Why is they are so angry, they are so angry, they are so angry? Because they are not looking the anger that they have within themselves, because this physical reality acts as a mirror. All the good things that we see in other person exists in us, and all the bad things, every single thing, when I say every single thing, it is within us, everything. We have all these parts that are criminals, we have all these parts that are highly damaging to other people. When we see them within us, what happens is we start to learn about the root cause of those parts, and we start to learn the needs of those parts, and we start to meet them directly. Okay, so that those shadow things are not happening. And I would recommend you to watch this video again and again so that you understand it better. Let me sit properly. I'm feeling my leg was sleeping. Wow, sitting this way feels better. Why was I sitting like that? So, integrating everything that we see within us it's our life mission. And I know sometimes because we see certain parts that we are like, we cannot be that, like we really can't be that, and then we discover that we are that. So don't take me like, right now, don't think of me as like I'm saying that all these things that I mentioned, the examples that I gave, are valid and right. I am asking you to go much deeper. What is the root cause of it? A person has to be really damaged in their brain to physically damage other person. Like sometimes, we can, like, for our safety, we can, like, if someone's coming attacking us, then we can, like, but even the person who is trying to physically damage you or anybody, they are like very damaged in their brain, very hurt in their heart. And that does not mean that you should let them hurt you. No, never do that. It's not healthy. Make distances from people like that. Don't engage with people like that. I am just saying, like, when we see those things in other people, how can we ask ourselves, where am I doing that in my life? How am I trying to hurt others, and why am I doing that? There is a reason why we do what we do. It's because either we want the other person to realize that, how them to realize the pain that they are giving us. So in a shadowy way, we want to hurt them so that they realize that the pain that they are causing us, and that's what we do very naturally as human beings. And child, if you see, if you can't understand, like, children, one very easy way to do is, like, a child will set us up to feel what they are feeling. They will just set us up. If you feel like, why is this child not hearing me, it's like, I'm feeling very anxious and overwhelmed by this child's behavior, it's because that child is subconsciously setting you up to make you realize the way you are making them feel, that is very overwhelmed and anxious. And that's child. But as human beings, we also do that. We subconsciously set people to make them realize how they are making us feel. We unknowingly do that, so when we go much deeper, why we are doing all these things, I'm not, through this video, I'm not trying you to go and see how you can blame other people, but bring your attention inwards. Become curious about why you like certain things, why certain thing is turning you on, what's the reason, without shaming yourself for it. you can book a one-on-one session with me if you want to dive deep into it personally. Link is in the bio description, sorry. But there is somebody that I know have a strong desire to be liked by so many men. Like in their sexual fantasy, they always have like so many men, and but in her personal life, that person is very like single man women, okay? Now, when we understood like why she is turned on by like liking by so many men, it's because in her childhood she never received love. There was void because her father, her every man that she was surrounded by, like every single man that she came across as child in her family, in her relative, were very ignorant and demeaning towards her. So she developed that desire to be liked by men a lot. So when we understood that okay, she wants to be respected and liked, and then we understood that sex is not the way that you can get the liking and love of a man. That happens when you are in alignment with you, when you are practicing your self-care, when you are loving yourself. And then slowly that desire started to diminish. That would have never happened if I would have started shaming that person, like, oh my god, what kind of person she is, this and that. The way to let these tendency come down and let the crime that are happening around in the world, so much of sex trafficking around children are happening. Why? Because so many people are doing that. They are without realizing that what they truly want is healing, and what they truly want is people loving their inner child, people respecting their inner child. What they really want is to connect with their innocence. Lot of it is happening, and people think that okay, if I have a sex with a child or like some innocent teenage girl, then I would feel the pleasure. But no, the real healing is deep emotional healing. That is why healing work is so important. That is why I am coming here and showing up on the camera and talking about all these things, because the first step to healing is awareness. And before I do this, it's really God's courage that I could do that, because I know how scary can be to talk about all these things. But it is necessary. It is necessary. And I'm going to keep showing up and talking about these things, because the more we heal, the better it is. Then the more people open their mind and start to heal their inner child, emotional healing, the crime rates will start to decrease, because people will be forced to heal. The more people awaken to this kind of work, energetically the people will not be able to engage in crimes. It will not be possible. There are certain things that are possible. It's because people like us are remaining silent. We are not willing to talk. We are not willing to heal the shame. Have you ever saw in yourself that when someone as child told you that you can't do certain thing or you can't have certain thing, in their face you may have said okay, but in your mind you went like, how can I do that? And then all these subconscious strategies started to come up. We need to learn like subconscious strategies which were not good. So now when we have alternate ways of dealing with our stresses, dealing with our anger, dealing with our traumas, we have alternate, meaning healthy way, the path that people are taking and we also are taking, which is to numb our traumas through eating sugar, eating junk food, through shopping, through gambling, through sex, through porn, through drugs. That's how we have been dealing with our traumas, right? And our emotions, our stress. If we feel stress, what do? We will eat sugar to feel relieved and feel better, or to eat junk food, or to have sex, or to through watching porn. That's how we have been dealing with our stresses and our emotional pain. But now when we learn healthier ways, that's journaling, taking a help of therapist, getting out in nature and feeling our feelings. When we learn to feel, like I can feel the pain, actually feel it, not numb it. Oh my god, we become like such a strong force that nothing shakes us. Nothing. I mean, nothing shakes us, because we can feel it and still choose to do the right thing. And when we dive deep into our pain and anger and hurt like that, and we feel like we can die by feeling it, but when we dive deep into all these emotions, we go so much deeper, and then we find the hidden gems. We find healing by diving deep. We find our medicine, our purpose, our true joy that we are meant to give this world. We find true peace by diving deep into our pain, our traumas, our feelings. And if you cannot do that alone, you can take help of other people. Okay, you can book a one-on-one session with me. You can book a one-on-one session with other people that you feel safe with, or you can write books that guide you to do that. But always take one-on-one support. I would highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. If this message was helpful for you, you can donate. Link is in the bio, in the description. I have a guided meditation, Heal Your Life, which is absolutely free. It is my generous gift to you. That meditation has helped me a lot. I did it for 4 years, and I have a strong knowing that it is going to support you a lot. Just read in the description how you can have it. I want you to know that when I come over here and share with you that you must do something, either like taking a one-on-one support, reading books and everything, it's not because I will benefit from that. It is because I have chosen this path to support people, and it becomes my duty, and I can only sleep better when I have spoken or suggested in a very honest way. My needs will be met by God. I know that. Okay? So, I have no greed and no personal agendas with you. I can only be in good health and be in a joyful state when I'm being honest with my people, the people who are putting their trust and faith in me. Because I understand our body knows when we are lying, when we are cheating other people, or when we are trying to take advantages of other people. That is not, I can never be happy that way, and God can never let me do that. So when I share something with you, some suggestion, it's for your good. And more than that, it's because I will feel good when I'm doing my work with honesty. Comment if there is other topics that you want me to make a video upon. You can email me, you can go in my description and see the email if there is something you want to share, okay? I'm here for you. I'll see you in another video. Okay, subscribe to my channel.